Summarized like that. A good way to say is start with the main point about vertical farms is the main thing about vertical farms is the main point about this article is like that. There was one time you said fundamental cost is high. I think you wanted to say initial cost or fixed costs. Initial cost means startup cost. Fixed costs, the ones that don't change. You said price make high. When you're talking about price, it's usually good to use the word rise. The price is rising. The price rises. The price rose.
Rose.
Past tense. And you said, if I don't have much food, it can be make. If I don't have much food, I can make it. It's easy to make without a lot of food. Like that. Ted, very quickly, you said team dinner. This is just, I completely understand what you mean. This is something that's lost in translation. But if you're speaking to someone that has no knowledge of Korea, team dinner, team is like usually for sports. Yeah. So you would probably just say company dinner. If you want to specify that it was not your entire company and just part of your team, you would have to, in a lot of times when you're translating from Korean to English, you just have to do this. You would just have to make it longer and explain. My team, we had a dinner with just the people in my team from my company. The team from my company went out and had a dinner together. You just have to make it longer if you want to specify that it was just your team. And use just a very simple one. You said this potato started to be grown in, not this potato, just potatoes.
Potatoes, yeah, right.
Pyongo, when you were talking about the movie, if I can play another people's role, or you can say play that people's character. When you're talking about play their role, play their character, this sounds like you're talking about acting or something like that. You would probably just say, if I want to pretend to be that person, if I want to be that person, if I want to live like that person, or pretend I'm that person. You said, tries to search that guy, search for that guy. You make sure you use the word for. And then when you were talking about the crops, you said potatoes are too easy to grow. Too many crops. One word that you could use here is invasive. When we were talking about especially plants, we say it is a very invasive species. It means it will grow quickly, it will take over other things. You could also just say it's very aggressive. Invasive means, an example is kutsu. Do you know kutsu? I think it's a Japanese word.
Kutsu?
Kutsu.
Kutsu?
Kutsu. In America, they brought that from Japan, and it took over many areas. So that is a very invasive species. You can use for a plant, or I don't know how you say kutsu. It's similar to like ivy a little bit. It's bigger. You'd have to search for that.
Okay.
Misun, at the beginning you say, I tried to keep my habit. I understand exactly what you mean. To keep my habit, that just didn't sound very natural. Maybe you can say, I always try to do that, or one good habit that I have and I practice. Just the word keep and habit together doesn't really work. And you said economic development has led this situation. It's really important that you say led to this situation, because if you just lead something, I am leading it. Leads to is talking about time and cause and effect. And you said, I heard it's not good for health. Grammar is fine. That's perfectly normal. I heard it's not good for health. But it's much more natural to just say, I heard it's not healthy. Seijin. You said, oh no, say? One thing you said. And when you were telling that story, you said my president, my president, my president.
Okay.
If you say my president, you must be talking about Park Geun-hye, right? Our company president.
Okay.
You said that's the reason I didn't join the class. You want to say I didn't come. Join is definitely going to be the initial first time you're coming in or signing up for. And you also at the beginning, I think I talked about this before with someone. It's just a very common mistake that many Koreans say this. When I get a lot of stress. It's okay to say that. We understand completely. It's just a lot more natural to say when I'm stressed. When I'm stressed out. We also say to be stressed out. Just means when I am in stress.
I remember that we would better say am stressed
I am stressed.
rather than got stressed.
Yeah, you don't really use the word get or got. Suhyun, also at the beginning, is another common thing that all Koreans say that just doesn't sound natural to me when you're talking about your job, which is something that you will do very much. You said, I'm working in the securities company. It just sounds awkward. One, if you change the word in to for, because you're not actually working in, you're working for it. I'm working for a securities company, not the. There's not only one of them. I'm working for a securities company. And that's an easy way to say it. But it's even better if you try, whenever you're talking about your job, especially many people have company jobs, right? It's somewhat hard to describe. If you're a dentist or a teacher, it's very easy. But when you're just working for like a company, try to explain as much as you can. Like, I'm working for a securities company that deals with blah, blah, blah. Or we sell to blah, blah, blah. It makes it better. You said, my taste is like a childish. You can take out like a and say, my taste is childish. My taste is very childish. Or you can take off ish and say, my taste is like a child. It's probably better to say, my taste is childish. And you said, I'm not good at cook. Either you want to add ing, I'm not good at cooking, or you want to say, I'm not a good cook. One or the other. And Eugene, you said chicken gallery? What is chicken gallery? Gathering?
Gallery. There is
Gathering? Like people
in Korea.
Yes. Meeting. Group.
Chicken country.
I'm not sure about we met up and ate chicken dinner, I guess. When you were talking about the act of the delivery guy, you kept using the word bind, to bind.
To bind?
To bind is usually used when we're to bind someone's hands, to bind someone's legs, or sometimes it's used for some objects. In that instance, a lot of times it's more natural and easier to say to tie up. He tied up the chicken using our rope. He tied it up and we pulled it up. He tied it up. And you said, you were the one. My brother pushed me, don't cook. That was you, right? My brother pushed me, don't cook. My brother persuaded me to not cook, or my brother asked me nicely, or my brother convinced me. And last one, you have to worry about the way you eat. You have to worry about the way you eat. I wouldn't say worry. Worry is like something I'm worrying about. Maybe be careful. You have to be careful about the way you eat. Eat it. I think you forgot to say it also. You have to be careful about the way you eat it, or the way you prepare it. Okay?
Thanks.
Okay.